Hello. How are you guys? I'm always really awkward starting these out, so sorry about that. It's just like hard to talk to people who aren't here. I feel like they are going to be separating the trials. What, between Chad and Lori? Yeah, I think they might as well. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Broken Justice. A is for Advocate. Donna Inty. Jennifer Green. Wolflink. Dylan. Hi, guys. How is everybody today? I am doing okay. I hadn't got everything set up for a while, and then I sat here and I'm taking deep breaths, but I'm back. I'm not stopping. Hi, Janet. Hi, from Scotland. Very interesting. They're going to. Hi, Yolanda. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to point the finger at Alex. Very interesting. Hi, Andrea. Oh, hi, Lala. Oh, I miss talking to you guys. Hope everybody is doing well today. Hi, little Lady D. I'm doing okay. Just rushing around being crazy. But hi, Michelle. I think that first I will. Hi, Mama Bear. First, I want to talk about the case, and then I would love for some people to come on and talk. Hi, Wolflink. Oh, thank you. Some people to come on and chat with me afterwards about the case. So, yeah, let me switch over to off camera. Oh, I missed you guys so much. So much. YouTube is full of some really wonderful people. That's the truth. Okay. So, can only stop for a minute. Super busy baking cakes. Aw. Well, hope you have a great party. That sounds really fun. Oh, missed you, Ray. Thank you. Okay. So, on J.J. Vallow's 9th birthday, the monsters responsible for him and his sister's death were finally charged with murder. And I mean, I was waiting for that forever. I really never thought it was going to happen. Drive safe, Wolflink. We will be here. Yeah. They were also charged in the murder of Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell. And they both had their court dates to hear their new charges. I actually got some photos of that. Here's Chad and Mr. John Pryor, the happiest looking person of all. And then here's Lori, which she was acting odd, and I think we kind of know why now. But I'll get into that a little more. I guess her lawyer had asked for a continuance, and we all were kind of wondering why, because it was just to hear the charges. And Chad heard all of his charges. So because of him going ahead and having his court date, I guess we got the indictments, which I want to go through those. Let me check back in the comments for a minute. Oh, thank you so much, Donna. You're amazing. Thank you. I'm so happy to see everyone too. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so there are some interesting things we learned in these indictments for sure. I'll go through from the beginning. So count 1, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception. This would be in regards to Tylee. And if you see here, Alex Cox would, I believe, have been charged had he not been deceased, because they are all co-conspirators together, which is pretty interesting and good to know. He should have been, and yeah, we all know that at this point. So in regards to Tylee, something I felt was like really interesting in these indictments. Chad Daybell Googled south-south wind and visited a website talking about the wind direction. Now, if we think about this, they dismembered Tylee and burned her. So he's Googling about the wind. That's pretty interesting. No, and she continued to collect 5 monthly checks on behalf of Tylee. Of course she did. Then we have count 2, first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan. So conspiracy and then murder. Then count 3, conspiracy to commit the murder of JJ. And then grand theft by deception, which I believe would be like collecting the checks for him as well from Charles's death. I just took some screenshots of like the most notable things. I don't think that there's anything here that we, didn't know before. So yeah, she failed to contact Social Security about his death. Oh, let's see. Yeah, same thing. Then we have, I went through and took all these photos, edited them, upload them like a while ago. So it's been a minute since I've looked at them myself. Then we have count 4, first-degree murder of JJ. Count 5, conspiracy to commit murder of Tammy Daybell. Now, there are some really interesting things in this regarding Tammy. I'm glad that Lori was charged in the conspiracy, but she was not charged for the murder. But we hear some interesting things here. So we know that Lori Daybell said that Charles Vallow was possessed by a spirit, right? Ned Snyder. And now we hear that Tammy was also possessed by a spirit named Viola, which is pretty interesting. Then we also know that there's a text between Chad and Lori about Tammy's death percentage, which what does that even mean? But we know Chad and how he likes to, rate everyone based on how he thinks if they should be left alive or not, by his little zombie score sheet. He did Lori's whole family. And then they're talking about her death percentage. Now, Chad raised her life insurance on September 8th, which is also the last day that Tylee was ever seen. And then we didn't know that Alex Cox's GPS placed him at a church 2.5 miles away the night that Tammy passed. And that's right there. You can see that. Which I would love to see that autopsy still. I would love to know what happened, and all of that. Then we have count 7, grand theft felony. Count 8, insurance fraud for Chad. That's with Tammy. And then we have count 9, insurance fraud again. Okay. So a couple things before I get into some stuff with Melanie Gibb. First, this is Lori's last living child, Colby Ryan. He actually has a YouTube channel, him and his family, and I follow it. You can follow it. It's like kind of goes along their journey. They just got pregnant with their second child. He has a lot of emotions and stuff he's working through. I mean, his brother and sister were taken from him by his mom. I can't imagine what he's going through. But also, they do talk very open and honest about that. And then he did this interview with Fox 10. So if you want to go to that channel and check that out, that's pretty interesting. And the police in Arizona, right around the time that these indictments came out for murder, the police in Arizona said that they are recommending charges in the death of Charles Vallow. So we don't know. I'm guessing, I'm not sure. I think that will be up to the DA if they go through with it. But at least we know that police are recommending it. And as far as I know, I don't believe it's for murder, but for conspiracy to commit murder. Let me check with the comments before I go on. I feel so bad for Colby, too. I cannot imagine. Cannot imagine. Yeah. Broken justice. I agree. Gotta wonder if there are any more players involved. Yes, and I'm going to get into some of that because it's starting to look like things are quite different than what we thought before. So, yeah. Okay, let's go back to my pictures. Wait, I have to take off your comment Soul for Music. And thank you for reaching out to me. And thank you for all of you who are just so loving and supporting. I appreciate it so, so much. I don't think I can trust Chad and Lori anymore. They said the end of the world was to, yeah, no doubt. They're probably sitting there wondering, well, Chad knows. I believe that Chad knew, and he was, Lori, I believe Lori believed in everything in her heart. What she was doing was the right thing. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, because there is some evidence that shows before all of this, she had some issues. So first, we'll go ahead and talk about Lori's competency. So we didn't know that, when her court case was continued, we didn't know why. And in March, she was sent for a mental evaluation. Now, this was kept from the public. The results came in, I guess, very close to the time that they had that court date, and that is why. They have to make sure that she understands why she is on trial. Now, in my notes, I wrote that the state will likely bring in their own psychologist, but now I'm learning today that they objected to her lawyer, and to the defense, to the competency thing. They objected, but I think after looking over the results, they have taken back that objection, which I do believe I have that. So yeah, here's all the information on that. It seems like it was ran by the state anyways. She had another psych evaluation during some stuff with Charles, and I will say, she does need to understand the charges against her, but I think it all comes down to, was she in her right mind at the time of the crime? And we see by that psych evaluation that she was. Not only that, she knew to keep her mouth shut whenever they were asking where her kids were. She was very good about keeping that a secret. She knew to cover her tracks when it came to all of that. They had burner phones, and, there's a lot of things that show that she knew. She also knew to kept cashing those checks of the kids, and now this, I don't know if this is changing because of Rob Wood taking back that objection, but this says that she has a court date on June 16th, and this is to determine if she is fit to proceed. So I guess we just have to wait and see. Now, I do believe, I know that Chad's court stuff will continue because he has a court date on June the 9th. So now this is really, really interesting, you guys. Melanie Gibb, she is star witness for the prosecution. She was best friend of Lori. She did a podcast with Lori. They went to these preparing a people meetings where they would prepare for the end of the world, learn to cook outside and different things like that. And she was there actually the last night that JJ was seen. She has a lot of firsthand knowledge of what was happening, but the way that we saw it go down when they went to court and she testified, and you guys, if you haven't seen that, you need to see that. It seemed like she was maybe innocent bystander, maybe too gullible. But YouTuber Awen Rees has been given a recording of a phone call between an unknown woman and Melanie Gibb. Lori's I already said that, her best friend at the time. So this YouTuber says she will release the full conversation in the near future when it's been legally cleared. There are a couple of very short clips you can find online, and it does sound like her. And this woman says there is no doubt it is her. I think that you guys really need to check out that video. I can give you like a short briefing of it. But she says, for one, that Melanie Gibb says Charles's murder was planned. It was self-defense, planned though. And that's kind of how she says it. And then she says it was planned self-defense. I actually think that might be one of the clips that I heard. How is self-defense planned? Did you plan for it to look like self-defense? But anyways, she says that, okay, I hate to even talk about this like this, but she says that her tone of voice and everything changed very much when talking about the children. You could tell that she had like this disdain. Yes, she said planned self-defense. I had sent it to Melissa like, oh my gosh, you've got to see this. She said that JJ was a drug baby, and, Lori was so wonderful for taking him in. And she said the tone of her voice when describing that, it was just disgusting. I think you guys really need to go check that out. Yeah. So also Melanie Gibb was hit with a subpoena by Chad's lawyer. Now, on this, you can look online, and I should have grabbed it, but you can see that it says they want any details involving immunity and several other things. Hi, Irvin. Yeah, planned self-defense, premeditated, no doubt. So since Chad's lawyer is saying he wants all details of possible immunity, it makes me wonder, was she given immunity for her cooperation? Because even her boyfriend testifies in their, they had a big hearing, and I forget the exact name of what you call that kind of hearing, but it's basically where you go and they hear not all the evidence, but a lot of the evidence to make sure that it needs to go on to the next phase of like a big trial. So she testified quite a lot there. Chad's lawyer gave her a hard time. You guys really need to go see it. I have clips of that court case on my TikTok, but oh my gosh, it's something you need to see for yourself. She seems very genuine, and she also does an interview with Nate Eaton from East Idaho News, and it's a long interview with, preliminary hearing. That's what it is. It's a long interview with Nate, and I thought that she was genuine, honest, and not involved. And you guys now, I don't know. I think that we are going to be hit with things that surprise us all the way. I really do. Hi, Shelly. So that's basically the gist of all the updates with this. I am so happy that they're finally charged with murder and on JJ Vallow's 9th birthday, which makes it just so much more special. And I'm sure that his grandparents are thrilled. They know, I did see, they commented on her competency stuff. They're just happy that these people are going to be locked away forever. I mean, when you hear of the way the bodies were found, you guys, it's really awful. I mean, charred mass of remains all put together that have already been dismembered and burnt. And like, now JJ was found very differently. If I remember when I get off, I'll put the TikTok in the comments where I kind of explain how they found them and stuff. Yeah, it is awful. And I don't know. Justice needs to come soon. I do think that it's going to be crazy when we hear the rest of the details. But anyways, let me get my camera back on. I would really love if some of you guys would want to come and chat with me. I haven't talked to you for a while. Let's see if I can get the link. Copy the clipboard. Yeah, it's really sad, Michelle. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Post a comment. Sorry, it's hard to, I should have shared it before. So there's the link to StreamYard. Y'all, I have to quit smoking for real. I should not be smoking. I watch my mom. She smokes cigarettes for a long time, and she has permanent bronchitis now. It's really hard on your body. So I need to quit. But pretty crazy how all that happened. I wonder, no, yes, I have my tablet right here. I might be able to find some of that I was talking about. I would love to show y'all the FBI agent who was describing when he found the bodies and stuff. Urban. They were caught in Hawaii, and my people spread the word, and that's how they found him. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when she was like walking to the car, um, and they were trying to get a comment, and she was like, they're like, "We're praying for your kids," and Lori's like, "That's great," like really high pitched. Yeah. Okay, we have a guest. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Swampy, 18 years ago. Good. Christina, my shirt. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Dude, hold on one second. I'm here, you guys. I'm just looking for something for my link. Keep failing at it miserably. It's really hard to quit smoking. We can try. I mean, I have my 4-year-old looks up to me, and I don't ever want him to think that it's okay to smoke cigarettes, you know? And he's noticing that nowadays, so. Why do I like the sound of clicking? Is it clicking? I had to stop smoking. I sleep with my e-cigarette. It's glued to my hand. I'm waiting to see if anybody wants to come on. But if not, I'll be back probably Wednesday and Friday. I am doing an interview with the Glairer on Friday, and I'm really looking forward to that. Do you guys hear the typing sound right now? Because I don't hear it. Okay. Oh, the typing. Yeah, because I had a message. I was trying to check a message because I was waiting on someone who said that they were going to come up, and they are not there yet. Sounds like Morse code. Drop the link again, please. There we go. No, because I'm streaming from my phone. My laptop is old. The camera sucks, but my phone is newer, so it's pretty good. So when I like checking my messages on Messenger, yeah, might as well turn my camera back on. Let me see if I can find that video for y'all. Drop it like it's hot. Drop the code like it's hot. The link. I got all flustered for a minute. I smoked cigarettes for 50 years and quit a year ago after a trip to the ICU. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry to hear that. Oh, hi, Angie. Good to see you in here. I hope you guys are doing well on the farm. Okay. Come on, Melissa. I'm at work, so sorry I can't be here, Allie. That's okay, Dave. I love you so much. You are an amazing person, an amazing friend, and you be here whenever you can. Oh my gosh, Angie. Holy moly, you did not have to do that. You are too sweet. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you. That's really, really sweet. I appreciate that. You need to give me a call. Let's see. Got my TikTok up. Let me go find that video. It is so disturbing. Hopefully, Melissa will be here by the end. My mother stopped smoking after a heart attack when I was 18. She kept me away from it. Yeah, I bet seeing that happen would have kept you away from it. Thank you, Meg Love. Angie, you are so, so sweet. Okay, let's see. Still waiting for Melissa and just sitting here. You guys be patient with me, I promise. I'll get there. I think this is it.
With the razor blade. And then as I cut through the white plastic, that's when the, possible human hair excavation was done, where you could see the human remains wrapped in the black plastic, and then the pieces that were recovered. And those pieces appeared to be burned. Some of them were pink still, so there was a lot of tissue still involved. So it was kind of this, for lack of a better term, it was kind of a mass of dismembered human remains.
Lori Vallow made national news when she... And there's a lot more to that. You guys need to watch that if you haven't. It is just hours and out. I watched it straight. I didn't watch anything else because it was so interesting. And Chad's lawyer, yeah, he's something else. Let's see. There she is. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. So I'm totally mind blown by this situation, for real, because I've been following this case from, like what Irvin said, back when they were in Hawaii, and people would be like, we're praying for you, like we're praying for your kids, where are they? And, you're right. Lori would just be like, thanks, I appreciate that, and just shrug it off. But from watching Melanie Gibb on this stand, I thought, like you said, she was basically an innocent bystander, that, okay, yeah, she could have had some prior knowledge as far as them talking about zombies and thinking something may be up, but I never would have thought that she really knew to the extent of what was going on. And it wasn't until you showed me that link and that girl was, relaying what the audio message included. And I was mind blown. And it makes me ask, why did she do that? Because the lady said that this was someone Melanie Gibb was friends with in the past, but they didn't have a close relationship. And Melanie Gibb randomly reached out to her on Facebook and called her. So that makes me ask, why? Why did she do that?
Yeah, why would she tell on herself? And I want to say a couple things. I want to say hi to Mod Squad. I see you there. And Jennifer, I saw you tried to come on. I am sorry. And then you were gone before I could even talk to you. But you are welcome to come after. And then Michelle, thank you so, so much. You do not have to ever do that. You just come in here and chat with us about these cases. But I appreciate that very much. She said, look, do you see it, Melissa?
Yeah, Michelle's a sweetheart. She is.
Yeah, thank you.
That was so kind of you.
Very kind. I so appreciate that.
So what do you think is the reason that Melanie Gibb would do that? Because this was before the kids were found.
Right. Before they were found, after she was already, like, Lori had been arrested and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that my initial thoughts of her was that she was like very naive and couldn't pick up on, and I think some of that is still true, because why else would she ever call this, stranger who's in the same area or in the Facebook group? I don't even remember how they met. Do you remember?
No, I just remember her saying that this is someone that she was friends with previously, but they weren't, it's not like they were having any form of conversation. Like Melanie reached out to her randomly and brought this up.
Yeah, it is so weird. It's like I don't know. And I'm thinking maybe she doesn't care because she does have immunity. I'm really leaning towards that now, with as much as she talked about in that preliminary trial. And she gave all this information. I don't know. She was there the night JJ was gone. They had went looking at really, like, her boyfriend, not husband, but the guy that went with her to Lori's. They had went and they were looking at different property and stuff. And I don't know, I almost felt like they were looking for a place to put the children or something. I think that she knows more. I didn't think so before, but I do. And Broken Justice, thank you so much. So much. I love you so much. Very sweet and kind.
And this just makes me curious. Okay, so why did the person hold on to this recording for so long? What was the name of the person who released it? What was the channel name of that person?
Awen Rees.
Okay.
It's in the description. If y'all want to go watch it, you can go watch the.
Oh, and it's like, watch it for real. But what I'm curious is, why did, because Awen, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she said that the person released it in a bunch of Facebook groups. So like all the groups that were following the case, she released the audio in. So I'm curious why. Why did she, what made her, okay, it's not so much what made her start to record the call when Melanie reached out. Why did she record it? Okay, I guess the situation, that's not so, not plausible to think someone would do. But why would she wait throughout all this time and choose now to drop that in all of the groups?
I don't know. It's a very interesting question. Hi, Stephanie. We are both happy to see you. And Irvin, we don't know that she has immunity. The only reason I'm even thinking that, which like paired with this new phone conversation of Melanie Gibb, is because Chad's lawyer, when he wrote her subpoena, he put on there, he wanted, all these different things and anything related to immunity. So the lawyer is definitely thinking it could be a possibility, which I don't know. How much does this lawyer know? What has Chad told him? And why, is he just thinking that on his own? Or has Chad told him, she knows more than that? She's sitting here acting like she doesn't know anything, but she was well aware,
And if you think back to when Melanie Gibb was on the stand, John Pryor would constantly say, well, why are you looking at Mr. Wood? Is there something Mr. Wood said to you? Is there any prior arrangement? Something like that. So back then, he knew that there had to be some form of an agreement for Melanie to even be talking about this. And the reason that I didn't think it was so crazy that she was looking over to Mr. Wood to basically say, can I answer the question? But now it's starting to make sense, and she definitely had to be given some kind of a deal, because even inadvertently, indirectly, she contributed to this investigation continuing and them not being able to find the kids. But it wasn't until that phone call, like them going through that phone call, that I'm like, wait, how much did she know? Because Melanie was portraying it as, I thought this stuff was crazy too. They're talking about zombies, they're talking about this and that. And I was worried. But hearing that person go through what she was saying in the phone call leads me to believe that Melanie was just as much involved. And she was, she had just as much of a knowledge and maybe believed what Chad was saying. Maybe it was what Lori was saying, who knows? But that concerns me. That concerns me greatly.
It does me too. And me too. I completely agree with everything you said. Wolflink, thank you so much. That is so sweet. You guys are really so kind. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. And Sal80, thank you too.
Aww.
Very sweet, you guys. Thank you so much.
You were missed.
Have fun with the barbecue. I think you were missed too. We were missed.
We were missed.
It's a good, because I missed you guys. I missed the cases. I want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm here. I want to be here talking about cases. I want to be here speaking out for these little kids who don't have anyone. I want to be here, when new information breaks, and I want to be here to talk about my friends' videos and share those like yours and, Kelly and Amber, just everyone. And yeah,
And
so thank you.
you are here. It's okay to take a little bit of time and get yourself situated, but you're back, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wolf Link says MJ was missed too. There you
Thank
go.
you.
Oh, Ask Alex. Missed you both. Thank you so much.
Hi, Ask Alice.
So sweet.
So,
Let me get to Baked Cake's comment about. She said, I think she was heavily influenced and brainwashed into this cult mentally and believed in the zombie BS, or she went along with it because she was scared of them.
Are you referring to Melanie?
I think she is.
Yeah.
Or both of them, really.
See, what I'm trying to figure out is, did Lori genuinely believe what she was doing was the right thing? Okay. At what point in Lori's life did she go from being this loving mother to just totally batshit crazy? I want to know, did she genuinely believe it and she thought that her kids were no longer them? They were basically just vessels, but their spirit is gone. And killing them was basically a favor, like it's a favor to them. And did she really believe that this world was going to end, or did she do it for nefarious reasons? Did she do it because she just didn't want to be tied down anymore? It's a lot of work. And she wanted to go off and live her life and get the money, because
there is a lot of money.
Dad's kids are dead.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Kids are dead.
And Dylan, thank you so much. I'm sorry I missed that. That is interesting. And I don't know. Like, if you think back to when Lori was first in court, and I think I mentioned this to you on the phone. Thank you, Baked Cake. Do you remember her like demeanor where she was like smiling and like, it was bizarre. And at this point, she knows her children are no longer with us.
Yes.
So that makes me think that she did believe it and think that it was that she was saving them.
Yeah.
And we see this a lot with other women who, I think that Andrea Yates, she was very religious and she killed her kids and she thought she was saving them.
Yes.
Which is terrifying, but.
I mean, if I could, because Mark Means has no idea what he's doing, in my opinion. But John Pryor, as much as I don't like him, he's the better of the two lawyers. And I think he's absolutely going to, because when you're representing someone, they don't give a shit about your relationship. They care about what's the best way I could get you out of this. And I think John Pryor, the reason that they are doing separate trials is because he's going to turn it all on Lori. And that's really the only way out. I think they're going to blame all the acts of the murders on Alex. Now, that's not to say Alex didn't do it or he did. I don't know. But even if he didn't, that's their way out. Alex is not alive. Nikki B, it's so good to see you. But that's the route I think they're going to go. I'm not sure what Mark Means is going to do with Lori. I don't think Lori thinks there's a chance Chad would turn on her.
I don't know either, but when you see, there was a cellmate who was talking about how she was in jail and stuff, and they said that she was like praying a lot and very happy, and before she would have like these video chats with Chad because she had that tablet that she would primp in the mirror, and that she was really excited to see him. So I don't know. It's weird how that dynamic is going to unfold, because I do think Chad may turn it as well. But I was thinking, and about you, what you said earlier, where did she go from good mother to this? Imagine how Colby feels, like.
I couldn't imagine. And it's the worst part about it is his mother continued to lie to him. He was asking, just tell me, like even after you're caught, and it's kind of like similar to Chris Watts. It's like, just tell the truth. What does it matter at this point? I'd rather you tell the truth than continue to lie straight to my face. And she wouldn't do that. You know, she didn't even give him that satisfaction. But it's just like, it's just so eerie and it's so bizarre. And so to think that, because what Melanie was saying in those phone calls, she knew, because what she said is anybody who is a zombie gets killed. And you know that Chad classified these people as zombies, but they weren't dead yet. So you knew exactly what was going to happen to them. Why didn't you stop it?
Yeah, exactly. When Lori's telling you JJ's a zombie now and you're there and he's alive, why wouldn't you stop it when you know? But she said, I think she was asked that. I've seen her answer it, and she said because she knew that they killed zombies, but she thought for her children, Lori's children, it would be an exception. Like she wouldn't do it to her own kids or something like that. That's
yeah,
what she
once
said.
people start showing up dead, I wouldn't think like there's no it's not like, oh well, I thought her kids were off limits. I mean, you heard Lori saying that JJ is climbing on top of the fridge and knocking over pictures of Jesus and crosses and things like that. It's but then I think about back when they played Melanie Gibb's recorded phone call with Lori, back when she originally went to the police and she recorded her and she was trying to get information out of Lori. But if it didn't go down the way that Melanie said, wouldn't Lori's response be, what are you talking about? You know exactly what happened, like this, and that, but she didn't.
True. That's true. That's very true. But let me see if I can pull that up on this because I'd like to hear that again. I haven't listened since. That would be pretty interesting to hear again after hearing all this about Melanie Gibb. Okay, and this is not. I didn't have any pictures for this, but what are your thoughts on, cousin Melanie?
Oh God, this is like a web, man. Like trying to explain this case to someone who does not know, you literally have to get out a big whiteboard and start connecting the dots because, there's the main people and then it branches off. Her husband did get shot at, he got shot through the window, and I'm assuming that is Alex Cox, allegedly, my opinion only. And so I think she was all fine and dandy with it when it benefited her. But see, it's hard. She knew about something. The fact that there was a hit on her ex shows a lot. But now I think everyone's in self-preservation mode. And well, I didn't know about this, yes, I knew to an extent, but I didn't know it was going to go this far. I think that they have to have some kind of safety net if they were going to do the interviews that they did, because she did a few interviews, and no one would be doing that. No one would be coming out with this severity of a case, knowing what it could implicate them, unless they had some form of a security that they weren't going to get, consequences.
That's true. Like, why would she come out and talk about it? But if you remember in her interviews, she said that, Lori, they're hidden somewhere. Like, Lori would never hurt her kids. Like, she was standing up for Lori and Chad. So
I'm curious, did she know? And that's everyone was asking. Did Melanie Gibbs know? Everything was so weird, like everything. And it wasn't even just like the main storyline. It's about, Alex and Zulema got married, ran out to Vegas, got married. And it just so happened Melanie and her new guy got married after knowing each other for a couple of weeks. And they didn't pre-plan going to Vegas together. They just so happened to show up at Vegas, both getting married at the same time. Like, it's just so weird. So it's like, are these people all just batshit crazy? And if so, at what point were they aware of what was going on? And at what point were they not aware, But what do you think about Zulema?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about her either, because she won't talk. Why did she marry? Like, just the way it all went down. There's more there. And if you see the recording it came out later on. I think it was body cam footage but I might be mistaken. It might be just the audio recording
of the 911.
and the night that it happened, and she, like, it seems her story was different than what she said. I know that there was someone who was praying for him, and she was, I forget what it was. She either talked to somebody, or do you remember what she did? That was, I can't even remember.
So Alex was starting to feel like crap for a few days, she said. And, you know, yes, it's been a while, so I may be leaving stuff out. But Alex reached out to his preacher or something like that, the head of his council, and spoke to Chad the morning of his death. And they said prayers for him and stuff. And all I know is that the 911 audio recording, apparently Zulema left to do her work. She was showing a house or something like that. And the first thing she knows, like the next thing she knows is she gets a call from her son, who is older, but he lives in the house, basically saying that Alex is on the floor unconscious. So she drops off her client and rushes back home. But in the meantime, her son places the 911 audio call. And at that time, Alex was still alive. But if you listen to that, her son does suffer from depression and severe anxiety, and that's why he still lives with her. But he was all over the place. He just referred to Alex as my mom's boyfriend. He didn't even know his last name. Meanwhile, they were married at that time. You know, Alex was in a really bad state. He was unable to help him. But the fact that there was even a phone call with Chad earlier that day, that there was even the head of their church involved, like, it's just weird. Oh, and I know what you're talking about, because it was like the head of their church showed up at their house like after something, or contacted Zulema. I don't know. I'm getting all these details mixed up because it's just it's so much to absorb. But all of these deaths, and for him to die, what, the day after Tammy's autopsy was done, or the day after she was exhumed, something like that.
It was the day after she was exhumed. Yes. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. Come on, for real. And it might have came back natural causes, but there are many things that they could have done that maybe would come back that way. You know what I mean? But I have that phone call. Let's see if we can listen to a minute or two of it and just comment on it. Let's see. The ring light is.
Hello, sweet Melanie.
Hi, Chad. Hey, Lori.
Hey, let me put on speaker.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We're enough with the phone. How are you guys? Okay. How are you doing, babe? I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I was wondering, where are you guys?
We're just hanging out.
Hanging out? Are you in Idaho?
We're in Idaho.
No, okay. I just wanted to ask you a question, if you don't mind, Lori. Yeah, of course. I want to know, you remember we talked about JJ going to Kay's house, and you told me they went there, and now he's not there? I was wondering what happened. Well, I had to move him somewhere else because of her actions. So was she doing something? Like, was she trying to come get him or something, or like trying to kidnap him? Well, she said that lots of times before.
And then there's JJ's grandparents in behind Chad. If anybody doesn't know, like, I don't even know where my hand is, right? Here.
Where JJ, and he said for my security, he didn't want me to know. So is there a reason I should be in danger to know where he is? No, it's nobody. It's his danger. It's the danger that there's people after me. Okay.
We just felt that if you knew, that puts you in a danger.
Well, just in a bad position.
Yeah, bad position.
Everybody, if they don't know anything, then they don't have to say they know. Right, so you're just worried. Okay. I'm just to keep him protected and
keep you protected.
And keep everybody else good. I appreciate that. Well, I was wondering why you told the police why he was with me. I just needed to have somebody so I wouldn't have to tell them where he really was, because they were going to tell Kay where he was. Oh, yeah. So do you think it's like you're
Okay, in a second I'll play the end because I think that's the most like important part. But do you hear how he answers like, "Oh, sweet Melanie," like, "Oh, you creepy. You just give me the creeps." His voice all around. Oh my
Yo,
god.
he reminds me of like Eeyore, like from Winnie the Pooh, just so slow.
Yeah, he does.
But someone did correct me. So yes, Zulema called her son while she was out and asked him to check on Alex, and that is how he found Alex in the bathroom and stuff. But Melanie admitted in the phone call that the lady was basically transcribing that she was the one who told Lori to tell Kay, JJ's paternal grandmother, that she was sick and that she can no longer care for JJ and to try to get JJ to go with them.
Yep.
So so what you have to do is listen to that recorded phone call, okay? And basically try to think how much could she have known? Because right now, she still could have known that, people were zombies, that, they were planning on killing, Lori's husband or Tammy, but she didn't know about JJ, and that, so it's not like one or the other. It's not black or white. She either knew stuff or she didn't know stuff. It's a very big spectrum, and there's places in the middle, and she could have known to an extent, but not fully.
That's what I think. I think she knew and figured, but didn't know details. I want to say, though, a question really quick. Nikki B, is this her first baby?
Yes, it is.
So, Nikki B, you have to rest, put yourself first. Make sure that you take the time to take bubble baths and naps and everything you want to do right now because you definitely need it. And yeah, I hope that you get to feeling better. I know she was saying, like, talking about being pregnant and stuff. I know it's hard. So yeah, just rest and put yourself first. Worry about yourself. And because soon you won't be able to rest as much and you won't be able to take a bath forever, like 6 weeks. And yeah, just
Do you hear
definitely
that, Nikki? Do you hear that stuff I try to tell you all the time? You need to rest. Because I explained to her, I'm like, when you do this transition, to the later point of your second trimester, especially into your third, I'm like, your body is not going to be able to keep up with what you're normally doing. So she's just working, going crazy, like she's in the process of so many things. And I'm like, there's going to be days where you're just going to break down because now is the point where your body's really starting to slow down. It really does take life to create life. So like everything that would be going towards you, your energy, your nutrition, your vitamin, everything, it goes towards the baby. So you're going to be drained. And yeah, she's the sweetest person ever.
That's like right. It does take life to make life. That's a good way to look at it.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
CDT, and hi, Amber. I always put their channel in the description because we have that Twitter and Instagram. But Amber just posted that she's been going through body cams and stuff on this case, and she just posted the trailer to the Lifetime movie. So you guys definitely, if you're interested,
I haven't seen that.
check it out. Yes, go to Amber's channel after, and she just posted I can't believe a Lifetime movie is coming out already, but
Penny, I hope it's nothing like the Watts one. That was a bummer.
Yeah, it definitely was. I'm going to fast forward to the end because I know people probably don't want to listen to every part of it right now. And then I want you to let's listen to this because this is where they kind of start going back and forth and, almost mad at each other. You can hear
that's when she starts to pick up. Why are you ready? Because listen, the phone calls they would normally have wouldn't be questioning her like this. And it's kind of obvious when someone is trying to pull information out of you. So Lori's realizing that something is up, and she even mentioned that, are you recording me? So yeah, this is the important part to focus on because you could tell the energy, she's trying to figure out, well, what's going on.
For sure. See, I was gonna respond to someone. Let's see. Alexis Brooke, we are so happy to see you guys too. I know I am. I know you are too, Melissa. It's been a long couple weeks of being gone. It's hard. Okay.
And it's so very similar to this. You just can't see it, but he did it because he was trying to reclaim a people, and he thought at the very end because of his. 100%. Yeah. 100%. I have no fear. Yeah. I have no fear of that. But I really, I was reading the story of Korah, and it's so very similar to this, you just can't see it. But he did it because he was trying to reclaim a people, and he thought at the very end, because of his carnal and natural desires, that's what influenced him. And he was very, very carnal natural desires. Well, honey, you got a lot of natural desires. We all know that. That's what you think is me, Cora? Are you kidding me right now? I think both of you have similarities. It's in the scriptures. It's in the scriptures. And the scriptures are very powerful. Yes, they are. I live by the scriptures, as you know. I know, but we can wrest the scriptures for our own vain glory. I wrested the scriptures? We can do that, and I feel that you have. Our belief systems. Do I wrest the scriptures? Is that what you're accusing me of at this point? I feel that you have. Why do you feel that way? I need an explanation on this. Because if you look, like the scripture just said, you get scriptures every single day, you know? I know you read them. I don't know that. But this scripture right here says that you will be supported by all against the fiery darts of the adversary. You would have been supported if you had not opened dark portals and dark junk. You would have been safe if you would have obeyed God. He would have had your back. But you have been chased and tortured. Whether you do this or not, I'm sorry, he has your back. So, well, if he has your back, you would not be able to tell me where you are, and we couldn't find JJ. Like, where is he? I've been asking, where is he? And you know what I mean? Like, I can tell everything where JJ is right now, and that would not be good for JJ. So I'm sorry that you don't want me to protect my children, but I would never ask you to not protect your children. Of course you wouldn't. So I can tell that you're just adversarial, Mel. I love you. I'm sorry that you feel this way. Because I actually do care. I'm sharing what I feel for you because I know your salvation's in trouble for what you've done. If my salvation is not in trouble at all, and I think you should check that with the Lord again. Oh, I felt a lot of things from the Lord, and this doesn't feel right. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, sweetheart. I'm sorry that you're friends with all those who are against me. Joseph Smith's friends turned against you. I'm not friends with people that are against you. Apparently you are. I am not. I don't know Kay. I don't know who you're talking about. Your sister, I don't even know what her name or who she is. I don't know any of those people. Why would they contact me anyway? How would I even know about that? Well, you're friends with Dave.
Kelly, yes, this is Melanie Gibb, Lori's best friend. And Lori, on a phone call that took place last December of 2019, before Lori was arrested. And Melanie Gibb was the one who, when they went looking for the kids initially, Lori told the police that JJ was with Melanie Gibb. So Melanie Gibb is basically, I think, trying to get it out of Lori, make it proven that she didn't have him. And then they're kind of discussing. So yeah, that's Lori, the one that was saying that to protect her children. And then Melanie Gibb is the one who's kind of questioning her.
Well, David is a very righteous man, and I've always known that grounding about him. And he has a lot of beautiful experiences with the Lord, and these are not the same. You know, when you get the priesthood, that's Peter, James, and John shows up, and then he confirms all of those in the circle that are to get it, and everybody's a witness of that. Everybody's a witness that the pattern is in the scriptures. There's no witness that you ever receive what you think you received. Nobody has seen that but you. There's no witness. The witness, Joseph Smith, all of the cavalry, Martin Harris, the 8 witnesses, they all showed up. Is there a witness when Jesus, Heavenly Father, gave that to Joseph Smith by himself in the grove? Was there a witness? No, but they had it later with other people. That was one experience, but others joined in later. When he brought other people into it, they had experiences. In the scriptures, yes or no? I'm sorry? Is that in the scriptures, yes or no? That Joseph was alone when he saw God the Father and Jesus Christ? Yes. Yes, he was alone. He was alone. But he had to open it up first. That's not a pattern at all. Honey, what I'm saying is that after he saw that and other people joined in, they saw the things with him. He wasn't alone. There was a witness for them. There was no witness. Anybody's never seen what you've seen or experienced what you've seen. That's your own witness, but nobody knows that. No, God knows it, and I will never deny it. For my soul would be at stake if I did. So you can say it didn't happen to me now, but if I say it, then I am accountable. You didn't witness it, but I did. But your behavior is not, okay, I understand that's what you believe you saw, but this is the thing, as I see, is that your behavior is not one of somebody in Christ. Your behavior. What? Never had any idea that you would be the person of all people to try me. I cannot believe. I'm asking questions, and I am concerned for you. That is what somebody does when they care. You don't sound like you're concerned. You sound like you're accusatory. You do not sound concerned. You sound pissed off. I'm not. I am troubled. Maybe that's the better word. Troubled. Because these things, like you being with Chad before he's even divorced, is unusual behavior for a person that's seen Jesus Christ. I was with him and he was never divorced. Honey, I've seen you guys together. So I haven't ever seen you with, I've never seen you with Chad kiss him and walk around the track at BYU with him. I never saw that. Okay. You say you're the one that's feeling guilty about being with someone before they were divorced. Oh, honey. I think that's not what we're talking about here. Wait, it's not what we're talking about here. That's what I'm saying. You are going out the deep end. No, I'm just saying this is not a behavior of someone that sees Jesus Christ. It's not the behavior. Really? Have you ever seen Jesus Christ? So do you know what the future behavior would be if you had seen Jesus Christ? I know that when I pray. Each of you every day, and he does protect me, and he is protecting me, and he will protect me against this accusation as well. And we will both stand there with him, and you tell me if I was lying or not, but we're both standing there with Jesus Christ. Okay.
So that's it. The sound is horrible, but I'm just playing it off my tablet so we can get an idea of their dynamic. And I want to say thank you, Kennedy, so much. Lana and I are just friends, but I do appreciate that very much. Thank you.
See, I think Lori was taken back because that's the first time Melanie ever spoke to her like that.
Yeah, I'd say so, because Melanie was probably the one who was, Lori was the one who made the decision. She was like you can tell by their personalities. Lori's dominant. Melanie's kind of, not so dominant. So I agree with you. I don't think,
IBS detector.
Let's see. Hi, Archimedes girl. This live, I don't know. It's been planned for quite a while, and I kept pushing it off. I'm so happy that we came on here to talk about it, though. But
yeah, like I said, I've been following this case from the beginning. When it was just first little words going around saying, like, where are her kids? Like after that first initial, what was it? A wellness check to Lori's house. The next day they left, packed up all their shit and left to go to Hawaii, and since then it's been, like a roller coaster ride of figuring out what's going on. And we've waited so long for these murder charges, so long. And did you see when they brought up Tammy's, like Chad is literally smiling. He's smiling.
I took a picture and put it in my Facebook group actually about his facial expression, like when it happened, because I just wanted to see the look on his face, because I know he thought that he got away with it. Like he thought for sure that he wasn't getting charged with that. And I just love to hear. I'm glad that they actually read out his charges in court, because you got to see his face the entire time. Amber, I am so glad I did it too. Thank you so much.
As awful as it sounds, though, I'm like, he should have cremated her when he had a chance. Like if you killed someone and you got away with it, like they didn't do an autopsy, the smart thing would be to cremate her, but I'm glad he didn't, but
which is what Lori did with Joseph Ryan. And I don't know if she killed him or not. There's a lot of, his sister has a YouTube channel called Analytics. Joseph Ryan is Lori's third husband. And there is a lot of suspicious stuff about his death. And
she didn't even tell his sister.
I know. It's unreal. She didn't even tell her other family members. Like, her nephew did an interview recently with Justin Lum, who is like a reporter who's followed this really closely.
Yep.
And he was saying, like, they never found out. Actually, I think he was discussing when Charles passed, they didn't tell them either.
Nope.
I mean,
his children were begging. First, I think she said he had a heart attack. Okay. So, and they were like, okay, what's going on? You know, like, Lori, tell us what's going on. But at that same time, she was freaking out because she realized that his life insurance went to Kay, and she was blowing Kay up. And Kay is his sister. And saying basically, I have to take care of all these children by myself, included his children, even though they were older, and was freaking a crap. And they, like, the entire time, like, because they released those messages, they were like, Lori, you know, like, what is going on? What happened to our father? How did he die? What's the arrangements? When's the funeral? And she just, one of those people who, when she finally responds, she's not responding to any of the questions they're asking. She'll just totally say something different. And it's awful. But the same thing happened with Joseph Ryan. His sister didn't even know he died, I think, until 1 or 2 months later. That's insane.
By that time, he was already cremated. I mean, that is so messed up. And I saw the messages you're talking about, and I remember, yes, they kept asking questions, and she would only text them. Wouldn't even, like, she messaged them over text. When their dad just passed away, you think that you would give them a phone call. You're sitting there pretending you have to take care of these kids that you don't even care to have a phone call with about, like, whatever. And what the heck? Thank you so much. I had to call your name. I had to make sure I said that. There was something else I was going to bring up. Oh, have you watched, there's a documentary on this case on Investigation Discovery. You can get it on the app.
2
and
parts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Kay and Larry have a lot in there, like interviews and stuff. And I can't imagine what they're going through. I mean,
I'm devastated for them. You know, the amount of guilt they must feel. They shouldn't feel guilt, but it's only a natural emotion. But they've been the biggest advocate for JJ. They've been out there on, you know, in the front lines this entire time. And they knew that they weren't going to find those kids alive. They knew. But
you can tell by watching them how genuine they are, how much love they have, how devastating it was for them to find them. The glarer, it is a mess of tangled wires. It's hard to even follow.
That is an accurate description. Yeah.
I am doing an interview with the glarer on Friday. I'm really excited and looking forward to it. Yeah. And then Brian, hi. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming by. Said bye for now. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm wondering though if Charles, so if they found her incompetent, which basically just means it's going to be dragged out until she's competent to understand her charges.
Yes.
I think that it really matters. Like I said in the beginning, her competency at the time of the crime, which you can see in many ways. For one, she had an evaluation, but for two, she covered her tracks. Like insane people, when they kill someone, they just don't cover it up because they're insane. They're thinking on like, they're not thinking. They're just doing things like instantly. You know what I mean?
They don't realize the gravity of their choices.
Yeah.
But someone asked if the death penalty is still active. And yes, when the judge was reading out these charges, he was saying it is punishable by death. But now, do they actually execute people? You know, like there's a difference between being on, you know, death row and actually, you know, getting executed. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's just like the Glare explained it perfectly. It is like behind an entertainment center and having all these wires just intertwined with each, and you don't know what goes where.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I heard Bentley's door open.
That's a good question, Caroline. Do you think she would have killed them if she got Charles's money?
Yeah.
I think it was more freedom.
Yeah, I think it was freedom too. Exactly. I think that the money was a plus, but in my opinion, I don't believe the money was the reason why. Because if we even see back to Chad's emails, which a lot, maybe it was before Charles, he was saying that Ty Lee was dark and stuff, you know. So I think that,
And he rated them on a scale. Like, do you remember they released all those documents and it would be like, it would say, okay, so Chad believes him and Lori were together in past lives, that they've had many past lives where they were kings and queens and even on different planets. But he would rate them on a scale. And I remember Chad told Lori that JJ was once our biological son, and he's like a 3.8, but then Tylee's like a 6.7. And it's like, what? Like, this is, it's just frightening. It makes me scared, because how can what seems like such normal people be so far detached from reality?
I don't know, but it is terrifying. It truly is. And the way that he was ranking people, and then we hear that they had you know, text messages about the Tammy's death percentages. Like, what? And I don't know. I don't know. Amanda, thank you, or A is for advocate. Thank you so much. I love you. Buy another tiny creepy doll from Auntie Amanda. Bentley's obsessed with even my cup. This is Bentley. It's that Chucky cup.
I think that's awesome.
I use it because it's hard to like take drinks while you're filming and stuff.
Yeah.
Cults are scary, and I wonder how big this cult got. Now, Lori has a friend in Hawaii who has done interviews. It may be on that ID
yes,
thing,
it
but
is.
Okay. And she says that they came to her, Lori came to her and said, you know, you need to come with us. You need to come on this mission with us. Your kids can't come, basically, but you have to.
You're
So
part of the 144,000.
Yep. And how many more people knew about this? How big does this go? Then they have that they had this social media site where they were talking to, you know, other people who were thinking like them. And Chad was very well respected on there. There's a YouTuber named Nor Jasmine, and she has videos where she's on
Tin
that
hat.
Yeah, with the tinfoil hat
Yeah.
of her on the social media site. And it's pretty interesting, the things that she found on there. There's even people that run these Facebook groups that are obsessed. They're loyal followers of Chad, and they are there standing up for him every step of the way. I mean, it goes pretty big. And by the way, talking earlier about Melanie P's husband's attempted murder. Okay, that if you remember, there was footage that came out from the storage containers, and they were moving a seat. So that was the same time that his shooting happened, right?
It was.
And then Tammy Daybell, she was shot at. Both people said it looked like they were being shot at with a paintball
gun. Yep.
So, I mean, the chances of that, I don't know, happening and it not being the same person, I wish that they would charge someone with those two attempted murders.
See, I don't think we're ever going to get the full story. Lori and Chad now have this opportunity because Alex isn't alive. And I think Alex did listen to whatever Lori said. We know that from that's what people have said. And I think he was dependent on her, not just, you know, I'm not talking about financially, but emotionally. And so whatever she said, he would listen to. But the fact that he's not alive and he doesn't have his story to tell, we'll never know what the truth is, you know? And that's why I'm saying this is going to be a bizarre trial because of the things that are going to come out. But it's unfortunate because if he was alive, I'd really love to know what his take was on it. Like, I have a feeling that if Alex was like arrested and caught and this was going to trial, I feel like he would just be truthful. I don't know why I get that vibe, but I think because I don't think he realizes what he did was wrong.
Maybe that's why they killed, you know, maybe they killed him. We don't know. I mean, they say natural causes, but maybe that's why, because they knew that he probably would be the one that would talk. And the Glarer, I agree with you. And that movie that's coming out, the Lifetime movie, is actually called, I think, Doomsday Mommy. So they definitely,
yes.
Yeah. prey on that doomsday, that scary, that people are like, you know, they hear that and they want to see more. So it's definitely a tactic to get attention. Although the case is so crazy, I mean, it's got everyone's attention. Even before the kids were found, this was like nationally covered. And even at that time, I honestly wondered if they were in a cave somewhere or in a, like, in some kind of religious
Compound, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Very, very bizarre. Let's see if anybody has any questions, and then I'm pretty much done unless you have anything, Miss Melissa.
Nope. Like I said, I just would suggest if anyone who's been following this case and hasn't heard A's, I don't know how to say her name,
Awen Rees, and it's in the description.
Okay, I would go to that, because if you've been following this and you're up to date with Melanie Gibb's first interview and then what she said in court, this really made me think completely different about her. Like, I thought she really was this sweet woman who just got caught up, but didn't have any direct involvement or knowledge. I mean, yes, she had knowledge, but I didn't think she was aware of what that knowledge was. But now it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I totally agree. You have got to go check out that recording, and I hope she puts out the whole call, because oh my gosh, that would just be so, so good. Mike drop-in mom said natural causes from him, natural causes from Chad's ex-wife, all feels natural. And
but
yes,
they both said that they had this pink foam coming from their lungs and out their mouth.
yep.
So, but listen, we don't know what, like, yes, originally Tammy was deemed natural causes, but at the same time, during that time, they didn't have any reason to believe anything different, you know. But if something worked the first time, if he got away with it the first time with Tammy and there was no huge red flags, why wouldn't they do the same thing the second time? But that's where Zulema comes into play. What did she know? What was her role? Did she possibly have anything to do with this?
I believe that she knows. Okay, Alex married her. Like, you know, we talked about a minute ago when Melanie married that guy. Can't even think of his name right now. But anyways, when it happened, Alex took Zulema's name and he moved out of town. So he changed his name and relocated. I mean, and it seems like if a man is going to marry me and is wanting to take my name, I'm certainly going to question that just a little bit. So I believe that she knows more than. Did you see the Glare said a Lifetime movie? I'll be sure to stock up on Strive from the Chris and Shanann. Wasn't that from the Chris and Shanann movie?
Buttercup, it is on YouTube, and Allie linked it in her description. I really would suggest going, because it's so interesting. She's not allowed to play it because it could hurt the case. But she said she will release it if she's legally allowed to. But basically, she just transcribed it and relayed it all in the audio. And it was so interesting. If you are up to date with this case and you've been following, I suggest that you go and watch that, because it's major, you know. And I'm curious if Melanie is their star witness, but I'm curious how this is going to affect the case.
I know, me too. She's everything for the prosecution. I mean, we don't know who else is coming, but she's definitely a huge part. And Carrie, I did see the state withdrew the objection to competency, and I think that means they just want to move forward and trying to get her back on track, because they objected to the initial things, and I think they wanted to have maybe their own test done, but he said after going through the report, it was done in a state hospital. I think he figured we might as well not fight it. And because they want to get her back, they're not saying that she's not going to be charged. They just want to get her back to the point where she can comprehend what she's being charged with.
It just postpones it. Yeah.
Yeah. However long that will take. Oh, Mexi here. Hi, Mexi.
Hi, Mexi. Krista said the link doesn't work for Awen Rees. It says it's private.
Oh, okay. Well, just type in. Or if it says it's private and it takes you to her channel, when this video is over, I think I just linked to any video. I was just to her channel. So I'll put a new link in as soon as this ends with the actual video that we're talking about, and that way you can go straight to it.
Yeah, if you
And-
just go to her channel and go to videos, you'll be able to find it. It was from about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, just type in Awen Rees, Awen, then Rees is Rees, and then you'll see like within the last 2 weeks, and it'll say Melanie Gibb phone call or something like that.
Hey, Brenda.
The Glare said the ring bought on Amazon for a wedding that took place right after her death. Yes, and
Yes,
the ring was
and
purchased before.
Before her husband's death. Yes, on his credit card, on his Amazon account.
Yep. And it just happened that Kay had like the passwords or something, and she got
Yep.
into it, so we were able to see.
Yep.
Mexi. Yeah, I was watching you in the Glare yesterday, actually. Let's see. Is there any more questions, you guys, or anything you want to touch on?
How many deaths in how many months associated with Lori? That's a good question. Her third husband died. Was it a heart attack? I don't even know what he died of. We don't know at this time. I think they did label it as suspicious now because of all the deaths that occurred, but there's not really much that they could investigate at this point because he was cremated. But let's see. There was Tylee, JJ, her husband, Chad's wife,
Tammy,
Alex.
6. Ooh. And then we have 2, you know, that
attempted murders.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was all within a couple of months. It was all within a couple months.
And you guys, Chad used to be a grave digger, and he
Yes.
loved it. He talked about how much he loved doing that. He was even in some hot water for saying like kind of disrespectful things about one of the people he buried. And yeah, so he knew exactly how to bury someone, and he loved it. He wasn't freaked out by it. He very much, death was just a part of, of life for him. He really wrote many books about it and everything. So I don't know. Small town girl, thank you. It's good to see you. Yes, Amber, a morbid side for sure. I do remember he made like jokes about someone that he buried, and there was a few different things he said that were just like who would say something like that? I don't know.
I'm really interested in, hi small town girl. What's her name? Linda from It's a Crime had covered this. The other girl who did the podcast with him, and she was talking in code in these voice messages to Alex Cox and stuff. What's her name?
Oh my God. I know it. Hold on, let me think. She's
I
like
know.
a psychic. She says she's a psychic. Gosh, what's her name?
Mm-hmm. And basically she said that Chad came on to me a few times, and basically said that we had past lives together. And she said that she had visited Chad and Tammy, many times, and she had just gone to their house a few days prior to Tammy's death, and she said that everything seemed fine. She seemed healthy. Their relationship seemed good. But then Linda from It's a Crime released this voicemail that she left to Alex Cox, and she is talking in code. She's talking about baseball games and like you have to go, I don't even remember. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. And yes, Julie Rowe.
Yep.
And what the hell is that about? What the hell is it?
I don't know. And in the beginning, she said that Chad was innocent and she was one of his biggest supporters. And then she turned and said, she knew that he killed Tammy, and she's still she says close to his daughter Emma, or maybe not very close, but they at least are on speaking terms and stuff. I don't know, but she is definitely different. Yeah. And she did say that he told her that he was married to her in a past life too, just like Lori. So that could have been his pickup line. But think about it. I'm sorry, you guys. Lori Vallow is evil. I saw a comment before Chad. She was even, there were things that she did. She was in and out of custody battles, making accusations of molestation and different things that people have said isn't true. You can look up some of that. And even the people who did the tests on Tylee at like 5 years old have come forward saying they don't believe she was molested and stuff, but she's done some crazy stuff. But Lori Vallow is beautiful. Let's just be real. She is a good looking lady.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Daybell looks like the biggest dweeb, like doofus loser ever. I just cannot believe that she would ever go for him. And she was crazy about him. Like before they met, she was reading his books and buying them for her family members and stuff. I mean,
correct. But, you know, like with her previous husband, she, you know, like he wasn't a Mormon at the time, but he did convert and he did attend their church and he did try, because she would always do the extra activities, you know, and the programs and stuff. And he's like, but nothing was ever good enough. She wanted me to basically take lead, you know, she wanted someone who led with the religious stuff. And that's why I think she really fell for Chad. But I absolutely believe she wanted Tammy out, and not just divorce. She wanted Tammy out, you know? But at that point, it's like, okay, but then how did it turn into your children? You know, once you did one, like, then she wanted her husband out and you did it. But like, you know, like, was it something that, you know, progressed? Was your mental state slowly deteriorating and you were not understanding or grasping reality? Or were you always evil? Were these always something that you would think? I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know either. I go back and forth about that. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see. There was a comment that I was going to address. My brain quit fried for a minute. I lost my train of thought. And predicting her death. That's right. Because Tammy's like grandma or somebody would come and talk to him. And yeah.
He wrote it in his book.
Have you seen the psychic who has like predicted how the children would be found and stuff?
Psychic, what's her name?
Donna Serafina, psychic.
Yes.
Reverend Donna.
Yes, before they even found the kids, she did the same thing with the Morphew case. But before she even found the kids, like they found the kids, she predicted how their bodies were going to be recovered and in what state. And she was very accurate. And I'm not saying I don't believe in that stuff. I do believe people do have these abilities, but how do you determine who, you know, who's credible and who's not? So I don't ever usually waste my time, but I did listen to her on a few things. And after seeing how accurate she was with the Daybell case, I listened to her with the Morphew case too. And it's very fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Because I'm skeptical too in ways. However, I do believe that some people are really gifted in that way. I just think there's a lot of people who use it to scam and fake, and you know. But if you go through, there's a YouTuber who actually went through, and I think her name is Sweetie Pie Low. Sweetie Pie L-O. And she went through and showed from the police report to the psychic's recording and how accurate and how things lined up. Like, she knew Tylee was dismembered and burned. She knew they wouldn't find all of her bones. She knew that JJ was wrapped in plastic in pajamas, like near the same place. She knew things that I don't know. It's just weird to me. And I know she wasn't involved in the crime. Some people try to say, well, you know, maybe she found out a different way. No. She knew that Alex stopped for food because the last known place that the kids were was, what was the name of that place? Where it's like National big Park. Yellowstone. Yeah, right? Yellowstone. And she was even able to say, before we got Alex Cox's phone pings, I was like, what? She was able to say that Alex, you know, stopped for food, and she was describing like which entrance and exit they used, and that Tylee was the one who died first, what had happened, and then what had happened with JJ afterwards. And after the phone pings got released, we did learn that yes, Alex did stop at this, I think it was a taco place or something, right nearby Yellowstone. And that was the last time Tylee was seen. So we do know Tylee was alive, died prior to JJ. But it's just, you know, it's just eerie. And do you know that her that psychic Reverend Donna Serafina, her daughter was actually a murder victim. And
That's
is how
usually how
she,
it works. Yeah.
yeah, and that's how she decided, I've got to figure out how I mean, can you imagine? I would probably do the same thing too. She devoted her whole life. She was taking classes. She even says that she considers herself a Christian. She took a lot of religious classes and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. If you guys are into that, you should definitely go check it out. Sweetie Palo is Lauren. Yeah, she's beautiful and has very interesting, her videos are super interesting. She just spit cocks out. I don't know what you meant there. I'm not going to put that up in case it was.
She was she was very spot on. It was, and she had direct contact with, I think it was the Morphew family members, if I'm not mistaken. And she did these phone calls with them and did a reading and told them what she saw. And she did record the phone calls. They knew she recorded the phone calls. I'm not sure if she released those phone calls or what. But what she said about Suzanne is she saw a struggle in the house, something about a bathroom, something about getting strangled. I haven't kept up with it though. So I don't know what else she has put forward since. But once, like she was saying all this about the Daybell case and those kids way before they were ever found. It was still, could they still be alive? Where are they? This and that.
Yeah.
And she was eerily accurate. I'd have to go back and watch now that we have the knowledge of what happened, to really put together how much she knew.
That would be really interesting to go back through all of her stuff, like kind of how Lauren did, but clip it together, all of it in its entirety. Yeah, pretty interesting. I think Lori had it planned way before Alex died, and he was going to be her scapegoat.
Yeah, she used him. He was the hitman, but I think he believed her.
I do too. He was very religious, and he felt like she even called him her like angel who keeps her safe, or her the angel who protects her. Basically, who's going to come after you and take your life if you mess with me, and it's very creepy. I don't know. I would love to get an interview with her nephew that lived with her and Charles and Tylee and JJ.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
That'd be really, really cool. Yeah, I put her name is right there. My last comment right here. I'll put it on the screen. If you type that in, she just posted something recently about it. She's put together a little documentary with some of her findings in that case and how it turned out. But if you go back, she posted them on her channel, like January, I think, was the first reading, and they were found in June. So 6 months before, and she was saying, where they were at. Michelle, you keep doing that laundry, girl. I do that too. I'll have my headphones in and then go do housework. So yeah, but anyways, we can come back and chat about this more. I'll find some more stuff because it's such an interesting case. But Melissa, do you know when are you planning on coming back to your channel?
This week, yeah, I may be going on tomorrow. Just trying to figure out what I think we'll be discussing MK Ultra and other CIA projects and leaked documents like Operation Northwoods, Operation High Jump, and things like that, and discussing, conspiracies. That's what I love. Conspiracy. I think, we're going to start out with MK Ultra, and then we're also going to be doing the Johnny Gash case. Because that's a very interesting, bizarre, unsolved case that I was just turned on to. So, but I think we're going to do the MK Ultra because that's what I was planning on doing prior when I left off. So probably tomorrow.
I am interested in that MK Ultra. That is some crazy stuff, like government brainwashing you, making you forget. Oh my gosh, yes. I'll be watching. I'll be there to moderate and to watch with you. But Sherry, psychic Reverend Donna Serafina has not done one on the Watts, at least publicly, but she said before that she gets asked all the time and she's heavily considered it. So that would be freaking awesome if we could hear a reading from her about that case.
Oh yeah. I don't blame her for not wanting to touch that though. She probably decided not to touch that.
Yeah, probably so, because it's so volatile. The community is just, yeah. And then you and I are going to maybe do a video together Wednesday. And then I have something with the glare on Friday. And Melissa,
I'm really excited for
coming
that.
today. I am too.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Figured
Okay.
we could break back into YouTube together. And thank you guys for being here and chatting with us. And, you know, just thank you because it was so fun. You guys are all so wonderful. There are so many kind-hearted, wonderful people. Just like we were saying, the Watts stuff can get volatile. Well, the people who are on here talking about true crime, making true crime videos, these are the people with the biggest hearts in the world who, when they see it, like, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about viewers and creators, but it's people who see an injustice and see something wrong and they say, no, like, I want to do more to fix it. I want to change something. I want to be, it's just full of lots of amazing people. And I love all of you guys so much. I am thankful for each and every one of you and all the kind comments and everything. Like, just know it has meant the absolute world to me.
Yeah, the positivity outweighs the negativity.
Absolutely. All right, Melissa. Well, thank you for coming. I love you.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you to everyone in chat.
Bye.
Bye.